All right, this video, I'm going to show you how to record the main part of your podcast, right? So where you're talking about either, you're doing your interview, you're reading the story that you put together, or, right, if you chose the specific topic, you're going to look at your different, your three parts and your details, right? So I set this up in a way where I can split screened it, right? So I can see my plans here and I've got my recording here on Soundtrap, but if you want to get this on your phone or whatever, that's fine too. It's a good idea to have it in front of you so you can look at it as you're going along. All right, so just like we did for the introduction, we're going to add vocals here, right? So again, click add new track, voice and microphone, and we're going to do the same way we did the previous, again with the introduction. All right, so remember, this is just me talking, right? Because I planned ahead. I know this topic. I don't need right specific things to say. I'm going to use what I have here and just kind of start talking, right? So I'm going to click start recording when I'm ready, and I'm just gonna go. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about are the 2020 draft picks that the Warriors just picked up at the end of November. So they drafted three players, and the first player who they got with the second pick, right? They were lucky to get the second pick because they had a poor record this past season with all the injuries. But with the number 2 pick, they selected James Wiseman, who, there's, looking at what was going on, there's some mixed feelings about him as a center, and so that was a little bit concerning. But I think that from what I've seen, he's going to be a good pickup. He's got some huge size, so he's 7'1". I think his wingspan is probably 7'5" plus. He's just a big guy, but beyond that, he's athletic. He'll be good defensively, but he's got a little bit more than that. He's kind of a skilled player. He can shoot a little bit, put the ball on the floor. So I'd be surprised if he wasn't starting for the Warriors this upcoming season. I think that he'll definitely be their starting center. I'm not sure how many minutes he'll get, but probably a good amount. So you can stop, right? You don't have to. You can stop and then continue, right, with these recordings. So if you, notice I click stop, so now it says start. So I felt it was a good place to stop because now I can talk about the next player, right? If I wanted to stop with what I was recording there in the middle of it, I could have stopped and then continued. There's no rules with it. So I'm going to click start again and talk about Nico Mannion. The next player they drafted later in the draft in the second round, I believe with pick 48, was Nico Mannion, and he's an interesting player because he this past season he played at Arizona and he didn't have the best season. I think he averaged about 14 points, 5 assists a game, but his shooting numbers were pretty bad. Like as in, he shot 33% or something from 2, and below 30% from 3. So shooting wise, he didn't have a great season. But the interesting thing is, prior to his first college season, when he was in high school, he was highly recruited, and at the beginning of his college season, he was actually a lottery pick, meaning he was top 14, predicted to be in the top 14 in the NBA draft. So I think this is a huge value pick for the Warriors, and if he can go back to that potential he had prior to this college season he was in, I think he could be definitely a rotation player in these first few years, but maybe even a guy that he can learn from Steph Curry, and he's not going to become Steph Curry, but an effective point guard. I mean, he's only 19 years old, so maybe he could become the point guard of the future. All right, see how I stopped. And so, yeah, let me see. So you then have to take all this and make sure it's in the right spot. So let's see here. All right, so this ended. See where this sound ended? It's actually going to pick up right where it left off. So let's kind of test this and see what it sounds like. Right, I have a lot more to talk about, right, with Justinian Jessup, and then there's 2 more topics to cover. But I'm going to stop there just for the sake of time. But I want to see what this sounds like. So I'm going to go here. Warriors draft picks. What are my predictions for the upcoming season? And what do I think the Warriors need to do to extend the dynasty for years to come? All that and more coming up. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about are the 2020 draft picks that the Warriors just picked up at the end of November. Let me show you what this sounds like from after I talk about Wiseman to. I'm not sure how many minutes he'll get, but probably a good amount. The next player they drafted, it's a seamless later transition, so that's how you'll do the main bulk of your podcast. You can stop, you can start, you can delete pieces. Let's say I wanted to delete this piece, I could actually go and delete that, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to undo that. But you can. That's why it's nice to do it in chunks, because then you can delete by the pieces. All right. So that is how you will record the main bulk of your podcast, the center part. All right. Thanks.